Come in.
Hi, Mr. Habitat?
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Marco Mangiola.
Nice to meet you.
I work for Consom and Wineries.
All right.
I was told to talk to you about, are you in charge of selling wine for the establishment?
Yeah.
I was told to come up and talk to you. I had a proposition I wanted to make.
Oh yeah, sure. Have a seat.
Thanks a lot.
No problem.
I ate the other day at your restaurant, and it was lovely.
Glad to hear it.
I really enjoyed your food selection, your wine selection. I really like that you guys are getting into the organic fruits and vegetables and produce.
Mm-hmm.
You seem to be making strides towards buying locally. I'm just wondering why your wine selection doesn't seem to be moving that way.
We have this idea that when you come in as a guest, you're embraced with this atmosphere of authentic French and Italian themes. One of which being our wines. So we we strongly pride ourselves on having exclusive French and Italian wines.
Yeah, actually, it's an excellent selection of French and red. Now, do you have any customers occasionally asking for Canadian wines, or I mean, I know that Italian and French wines can be quite pricey.
Yeah.
Do you ever have anybody asking for maybe a slightly cheaper wine?
Rarely we do, but it's not a serious factor.
No. Well, I'd really like to help you. I want to help you expand your menu a little bit. I wouldn't want to see any changes being made. You have an excellent selection of French and Italian and some South African wines. I really don't think that putting a Canadian section on your menu would, provide your customers with more selection. For the ones that do come in. I know people really love to see, just like they love to see Canadian food options and Canadian produce being used. It's a real factor, a really nice thing to see a restaurant of your caliber using local wines and purchasing from local wineries. I really believe you guys would benefit from having maybe a section or carrying perhaps a couple of reds and whites to provide to those customers. I mean, in the hospitality industry, you have to be hospitable to
of course, definitely,
what people are looking for. And would you have a minute to perhaps try some of our wines?
Yeah, sure, of course.
Can we start off with, I'd like to compare to maybe one of your house wines. Do you have a preferred wine around that we can open?
Take your pick. I'm fine with anything.
All right. Just over here?
Yeah.
How about the Merlot?
Sure.
All right. Let's go with the Italian Merlot.
All right.
And we'll grab a glass. Now, I've also brought one of our Merlots. It's a 2-year barrel-aged red. It's new to our line. It hasn't quite come out yet onto the market. It's not yet. It can't be found in the LCBOs, so you'll be one of the few restaurants that actually is carrying it. Now, you can taste it with your house wine.
All right.
So, get a taste of that first.
Really good.
As you know it, yeah. And then we'd just like you to compare it with our wine, and then see how it goes. Now, my hope is that you'd be able to carry our wine, and I actually had the same Italian Merlot the other day when I visited you. It was excellent.
I'm glad to hear it. Yeah.
The price point, though, I enjoyed it, and it's an excellent wine. The price, the quality, value, it was all great. But I just know that if I was looking for maybe a lower price point, it might be difficult to find on your menu, and I feel like our wine could provide you with that. How did you enjoy it?
Both wines were fantastic.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Let me just put my phone away. Sorry about that.
No problem. Now, would it be an interest to you to have a wine like this?
Here's a few issues that I'm having with, I guess, the Canadian option. One of which being the price. Taste-wise, it's great. I'm not gonna lie, it's fantastic. I like it. But my issue is trying to convince my customers that our Italian wine is around $32 a bottle. I'd say if I had one bottle of Canadian wine, I'd sell it maybe same price as our house wine, so around $20. That's a $12 difference. I don't have an issue with it. because I tasted it. I can see the difference. It's those first customers who are indecisive, who are so used to Italian wine. If I'm giving them an option of Canadian wine, they think, well, why? Why do you have this? I thought this was an authentic Italian and French restaurant. Why do you have Canadian wine? Canadian wine is cheap. Are you guys cheap? Do you guys not value quality? That's not who we are.
That's fair, and I can see that definitely in your menu option. So I'm getting that you actually think that you're thinking that the customers will be potentially even offended by having such an option on the menu.
Not so much offended, more so a little concerned.
They think you might be going a different
They think
way,
we might be
starting to
changing,
change.
and we definitely don't like change at all.
Oh, I would never ask you to change. There's nothing. You have an excellent restaurant. It was wonderful.
Thank you.
I would simply say having that additional option on there would definitely open up. It would show how hospitable your restaurant is to demand, and that you have those options available. Now, if you're worried about maybe having it on the menu, you could start it off with an off-menu option. I know a few restaurants that have started that way when they're a little tentative towards a new wine. I would highly recommend starting it off, if that's something you're worried about. Starting it off off-menu option. If somebody asks you if you have something a little lower in price, you can offer this to them. And as you've tasted, I don't think it'll suffer.
It's mainly the price and the fact that it's not, it's not Italian. It's not European wine. That's the big issue.
Yeah, and it's understandable. It does kind of conflict with the natural, or not the natural, the cultural aspect that you're trying to portray. And I would highly recommend starting it off with maybe a small cask. I'd like to send you a cask of our Merlot, a small one. You can keep it somewhere. And
here's another issue with having not necessarily Canadian wine, just any other type of wine. We have all of our shelves stocked with French and Italian wine. If we, even a small supply of Canadian wine, if we put it on our shelves or on stock for customers to buy, that's risking potential sales.
You're saying it's a space issue.
Yeah, definitely a space issue.
Well, is there any way we could possibly come to fix that? I'd like to send it to you maybe through a time of the week when you have, or time of the month when you have maybe a lower stock. I'd just really like to get this into your store so that you can start giving it to customers.
All right.
Have them try it, see the responses. They will sell you. The customer's response will sell you more than I ever could. Their taste and their appreciation for having this option, I guarantee, will invite you to invite me back.
Another issue or another question I have is the matter with corks. Going back to tradition.
Cork wine versus screw top.
Yeah, we like to use cork. And with Canadian wines, they are very modern. And modern wine is all right. It's perfectly fine. It's just, it's not tradition.
The screw top versus the cork top is more, these days, becoming more of an aesthetic quality. I don't know if you know, but the screw top is actually a better insulator when it comes to the cork versus screw.
Right.
It lets in less air. The cork top allows in too much air, starts to aerate the wine. It spoils faster. So essentially the big difference is for you. If I was to send you a case of our wine, corked versus screwed, could come from the same barrel.
Yeah.
You can keep it in your basement. One is going to die off much faster than the other.
Do you know how fast?
I'd say a matter of months. Okay. So you could probably keep a screw top case for about, I'm going to say 4 months.
Oh, okay.
Whereas the cork maybe less, quite a bit less, which is especially good if you're worried that you might not be selling it. You'll be able to keep those bottles tucked away somewhere once you find some room for them, and not have to worry about them going bad, opening them for a customer and it not going well.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than giving a customer a bad glass of wine.
Right, definitely.
Now I'd like to ask if you would be amenable to me sending you perhaps, if you're not open to the cask because you're worried about space, how about half a case? My treat. If you sell it, it's all yours. I just ask that you give me a call back if
Alright.
you get the response you're looking for.
How about this? I'll take it. I'll see how it goes, and we can meet not next week because we have a lot of things going on. But maybe
Certainly.
2 weeks from now, if we're all out,
Sure.
we'll talk more about it. I'll even bring my boss into the meeting, see what he thinks about it.
I'll give you my card.
All right.
And then that way, you can call me if anything changes.
Sure.
When would be a good time for me to come by?
I'd say the first of the month.
First of the month? I could certainly do that. I'll be by for the first, and then I'll check on you about a week after that.
All right.
And we'll see how it is. We'll see how you're enjoying it. I'll bring you a catalog. And yeah, this has been a pleasure. Thanks a lot.
No problem.
The wine is yours.
Thank you.
Drink it, and
Sure.
I'll see you soon.
Take it easy.
Have a good day.
You too.